On today's show, I'm in a region that produces more of these free-range pigs than anywhere else in the country, and that's no porky. In fact, on this farm alone, over 900 piglets are born every single week. Where am I? Stay watching and find out. On today's show, we're under starters' orders to find the perfect pad and paddock to unite a couple with their horses. And some places struggle to get them chomping at the bit.
To be honest, there probably isn't enough for me to get my teeth really into.
And there are some clear favourites.
I think it's lovely. I really do love him.
But it's the dark horse of the selection that triumphs with a truly astonishing victory. Welcome to Suffolk in East Anglia. Now, this region is responsible for the production of over 30,000 of the pigs reared here in Great Britain. And it's in Suffolk where you'll find most of them running around freely in the great outdoors. Now, later on in the show, I'll be finding out why the 20,000 pigs on this particular farm are so successful in bringing home the bacon. Tucked in the far eastern corner of the country and bordered by 3 other counties, Suffolk is also fringed by over 40 miles of heritage coastline, looking out across the North Sea. This is a largely rural county with a low-level fertile soil that creates the ideal environment for arable crops. Wheat and barley cover almost half of Suffolk's farmland, and agriculture is such a critical part of the local economy that 80% of the land is dedicated to farming. And when the working day is done, it's the seaside that's a huge draw for visitors. The quiet and unspoilt coastal villages are popular with painters and photographers looking to capture sleepy England at its most beautiful. A particular favourite must be the picturesque fishing town of Aldborough, home to a world-renowned annual music festival established 60 years ago by the Suffolk-born composer Benjamin Britten, for whom the rhythmic lull of the waves against the shingled beaches was a constant source of inspiration. Well, if that's music to your ears, let me hit a couple more high notes. The average price for detached property here in Suffolk is just shy of £240,000. That's around £15,000 cheaper than the average for England and Wales. But that's not to say the county doesn't have its property hotspots. Medieval towns like Levenham are highly desirable and therefore attract a premium, as do the seaside towns like Aldborough, where the price of a detached property with sea views close to the high street can command double the asking price of one located on the outskirts. So it's important to choose your area wisely. But no matter where you look, it's fair to say there's plenty of architectural gems to please the eye. During the 14th and 15th centuries, a prosperous textile industry made Suffolk one of the wealthiest areas in the country, and many perfectly preserved timber-frame houses still stand as a reminder of this affluent time. Wealthy wool merchants further enhanced their homes with beautiful ornamental plasterwork, which is an East Anglian tradition known as pargeting. Today it will cost in the region of £500,000 to £800,000 to get your hands on a listed 4-bedroom slice of this medieval history. And if you fancy an injection of colour, charming pink dwellings in a variety of shades are a common sight throughout the county. However, a pretty candy-coloured character house in one of the fashionable coastal resorts would also set you back a pretty penny, with a 2-bedroom cottage costing upwards of £300,000. But if you can bear to forego those wonderful sea views, then you can take off at least £100,000 for a similar style property further inland. So there's a rich assortment of properties here, but will any of them appeal to today's buyers? Time to meet them and find out. Retiree Mick and his wife Sue met 15 years ago through their shared love of horses. They even tied the knot on horseback. And although they live in this large 4-bedroom house in the Essex town of Harlow, for our equestrian couple, home has always been where the horse is.
The horses are stabled in Epping Forest. It's 12 miles away, it's 2 motorways, and what we would like to do is have horses at home and be able to ride nice bridleways nearby, and our dream is to be able to ride to the local pub.
The whole idea of just being able to walk out the front door
and having horses in stables nearby, it would make life so much easier.
And they certainly haven't had an easy ride over the past few years.
Mick had an accident at work 4 years ago. He very nearly lost his life. It's left him as a double below the knee amputee, and that's very much focused the way that our lives are now. He does quite a lot, but some of the time Mick's in a wheelchair, so we have to take each day as it is.
I guess when something like this happens, it concentrates your mind, and you think about the things you do enjoy in life and what you want to get out of your life.
Ever optimistic in the face of such adversity, Mick and Sue are determined to create the most fulfilling future possible, and their starting point is to find a more practical home.
The house we've got now is not suitable for Mick when he's in a wheelchair. The doors are too narrow, there are too many steps, too many slopes. Our must list is really that we have to have somewhere with spacious downstairs living. It doesn't have to be a bungalow, but it has to be something that we can live mainly on those ground floors. We need land where we can keep our horses, 4 to 5 acres. Hopefully. And I also want somewhere where I can create a new garden as well, from scratch if need be, but having that potential to do that is also on my must list.
As a qualified garden designer, Sue is keen to expand her horticultural horizons and develop her other artistic talents too. But it's family and, of course, the love of horses that really sets our couple's hearts racing.
Suffolk's good for us because my daughter and grandchildren live in South Norfolk, so we'd like to be closer to them so that they could come and visit and perhaps get another horse so the children could start to ride.
One thing Mick has been able to do since his accident is to ride his horse. It's one thing he really enjoys, and even when he can't walk very well, one thing he can do is riding his horse. He gets tremendous enjoyment from him, tremendous satisfaction. It's something he feels free doing, and it's one thing he wants to carry on doing until he's absolutely no longer able to do so.
Clearly, times have been extremely tough for Mick and Sue, but throughout they've been driven and totally committed to one another.
Sue does a great deal for me, and I wouldn't be here without Sue. She picks me up when I get down. She does most things for me. No, I'm still capable of doing a few things on my own, but she's just the rock that I anchor myself to.
Mick and Sue have a budget of £575,000 to find their ideal escape to the country, and location is key. Not only do they want to be closer to their horses, they're also hoping for somewhere near to Mick's daughter and grandchildren in Norfolk. So we'll be focusing our search around Bury St Edmunds in the northern half of the county. And with the location sorted, I'm finally meeting up with our buyers on Suffolk soil to finalise all the details of their move. Now, at the heart of your search, I suppose, is your accident, which is dictating the kind of property you're looking for. You want it more accessible, perhaps with a wheelchair, certainly in later life. Does that mean just ground floor living? Are we looking at bungalows?
We would prefer bungalows, but we could live with a place that had the bedroom on the ground floor.
OK.
And possibly the bathroom on the ground floor.
Or did a potential to build a bedroom and bathroom on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Open plan downstairs.
Open plan downstairs.
It's giving access through doorways, no narrow doorways.
All right. Now, you're also heavily into horses. Like anybody else I know that is, priorities are land. It's almost a must, isn't it?
It is, I'm afraid, yeah.
OK. How many horses you got?
We've got 2 at the moment, but we'd probably like to get another one, or maybe 2 for our grandchildren to ride.
4.
Okay. Potentially 4,
yeah.
but it's only 2 at this present
So
time.
we're looking at really a minimum of 4 acres of land.
All this comes at a price, of course it does. What's the budget we're looking at today?
For a house that ticks the main key factors, up to a budget of £575,000.
But that's your top.
That's our top budget.
Well, let's not hang around, let's get started.
Great.
This way. For a maximum budget of £575,000, Mick and Sue are after a detached house comprising 3 bedrooms, one of which needs to be located on the ground floor with enough space to create a wet room for Mick. They prefer an open-plan layout of generous proportions with minimal floor levels, but are flexible when it comes to style. Outside, they'd like a decent plot of garden to expand Sue's horticultural ambitions. And, of course, they need equestrian facilities with around 4 acres of land for their beloved horses. We've got some fantastic homes to tempt our buyers, but as ever, I won't be revealing the price until they've had a guess first. Our final choice is, of course, the Mystery House, where we'll be taking a huge, and I do mean huge, gamble. But will the odds be in our favour? Our first stop is the small village of Stanton, 8 miles northeast of Bury St Edmunds. Here our buyers can tack up their horses and use the good selection of shops and amenities that line the historic streets. And it was within the ruined walls of the once powerful ancient local abbey that the barons of medieval England hatched plans for the Magna Carta. Back in the heart of Stanton Village, our first property can be found hidden away down a private road. OK, so property number one, we're going to be looking at a bungalow, but I know what you like. Like any other horse-mad person, you want to look at the stables, and
Absolutely.
you can't ignore them. They're fantastic, actually.
Yeah, they're very good.
You do get some pretty good facilities here. These loose boxes are probably, what, about 20 years old. But they're tidy, they're well put together. They've got hot water and even heat lamps in one of the boxes there to dry the horses off.
That could be useful.
Luxury.
Yeah.
That's a plus point to start with.
And, on top of that, you've got some outbuildings.
Yeah.
Both of which have power.
Yep. And there's space there to park a horse lorry as well.
Are you impressed with what you're seeing so far?
Yeah, very nice.
It's nice and spacious,
Yeah.
which is
Good.
one of the things we're looking for. Yeah.
What about the bungalow, the house itself?
It's fine.
It's a bungalow, yeah.
It looks a bungalow. I mean, but it's not without character completely. It's quite. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
So all in all, happy?
Yeah.
So far, so good, yeah.
Great. Let's take a look inside.
Yep.
This 1950s brick-built bungalow is of an age not generally celebrated for its beauty, but does benefit from a more open-plan layout, which is high on Mick and Sue's wish list. Let's see what they think. So, straight into the kitchen. What are your first impressions of this kitchen?
It's very nice.
It's fine.
It's lovely.
It's bigger than I thought it was going to be, actually.
I thought it was a mirror when I first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I took a double take there, actually, think it was a mirror, and then being able to see right through.
Yeah.
So
Are you happy with this kind of layout? Does it work for you?
it looks as if it's reasonably well laid out, you can get around it.
Yep.
And it looks like there's scope to potentially knock through into the living area there if you wanted to make it larger. So, first impressions, yeah.
And if I was in a wheelchair, I could get around here easily.
Back off the entrance hall, there's a good-sized utility and an office cum tack room with plenty of space for equine apparatus. And through the kitchen lies the main living area. Very much more open plan now.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's a bit small.
Here's the thing, as you've got room for a dining table in the kitchen, you could dispense with this and that short
Yeah.
wall and make it one big living room. Got it?
I think we would probably knock through here and make it into one big
okay.
room.
I mean, what I did like about it is, you know, the old parquet flooring,
Yeah.
you've got the solid fuel burner there.
Yeah.
It's, even though, again, we keep going back to the fact it's a bungalow, but you do get elements of sort of country living here, don't you?
Yeah. It's got some character.
I quite like the beans.
They're all right.
They're great.
Like the bay windows, all
Bay
right.
windows,
That's
fine.
nice.
The beauty of this place is it faces out onto its main feature, its main asset, and that's the land. And I suppose, you know, as a horse lover, that's even
Great for
more.
your horses out in
It's
the
great.
field there.
You can. If Sue's out there, I can watch it, or vice
Well, I'd be
versa.
creating a garden out here as
Yeah.
well, of course. But you know,
Right.
that's all in scope, isn't it?
It's just got everything we need so far.
Also on the ground floor is the family bathroom and a total of 4 bedrooms, the smallest of which is being used as a study, alongside 2 good-sized guest rooms. But I'm going to show our buyers the room that could be theirs. This is your master bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's good. I like the double windows. I like the either side of the room. It's not huge.
This works fine.
OK, good. You're not high-fivers.
The cogs are all working.
Good.
We're
Yeah.
thinking about what we can do to add our own stamp to things and
All right.
make things easier. And yeah, everything's fine. Everything's good.
It's hard to gauge whether the bungalow is really winning Mick and Sue over, so we'd better turn our attention to the horses, who'll be more than catered for outside. As well as the 5 stables, this plot benefits from fantastic all-weather equestrian facilities. And with grounds that extend as far as the eye can see, there's more than enough to keep green-fingered Sue occupied. But can they cope with an incredible 8 acres? So, I mean, what do you think of the facilities?
I think
They're
brilliant.
excellent.
Yeah.
They are really
Yeah.
very, very good.
You get a lot here. Here it seems to all be there and on our doorstep and easy to get to.
Yeah.
Well, literally on your doorstep. I mean, you
yeah.
come out of that nice little bungalow and then bang, you're
Yeah.
straight here.
Yeah, this has got so much scope and potential that it's not an issue at all, this sort of size.
So you've got all the facilities that you asked for, and bearing that in mind, I want you to guess the price. How much is this place on the market for?
I'm going to try and be optimistic, so I'm going to say 560.
OK.
I think it's higher than that. I think you've really got to the top of our budget. So
Yep.
I'll say 575, hoping it's not too much more than that.
Well, you were right when you said I'm pushing the budget here
Yeah.
because you've got everything.
Yeah.
This place is on the market for offers around £600,000.
Okay, yeah.
We were being optimistic.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. And we've spoken to the owners and they are prepared to negotiate closer to your budget.
Right.
Why don't you go back into the home part of this, see what changes you'd like to make for access, and then I'll meet you out the front waiting.
Yeah, OK, we'll go
Whenever
for
you're
those.
ready.
Right.
Okay.
All right?
Right.
I'll catch you later on.
See you
Thanks a
later.
lot.
All right. Well, I think there are actually very good reactions there. And when they come outside, they clearly come alive because it is all about the horses and the land. I am worried, though, whether I've peaked a bit too soon. Over budget at £600,000, but with room for a sensible offer, our first property may have been a slow burner, but it has come up trumps in delivering what our buyers have asked for, and more. Being a bungalow, all the living accommodation is on one level and includes 4 bedrooms and a family bathroom. But it's the grounds here that really sell this place, boasting first-class equestrian facilities, including 5 stables. And it's all wrapped up in a stunning 8 acres of land, even more than our buyers have asked for.
I think the first property here is really quite good. I'm pleasantly surprised by the amount of space, both within the house and certainly the outside. I'm very taken with the exterior space because there's space to do everything I want to do, not just with the horses, but my aspirations for creation of a new garden as well. There's loads of potential outside for that, so yes, my focus has been on the outside probably, but the house isn't bad either.
This is great. I mean, we could just use this as the office and not use the other office at all, make it a dressing room.
It gives quite a lot of flexibility, doesn't it? For
It
extra
does,
storage
it does.
space.
This is much better
And
than I thought.
quite a few options here, really, aren't there?
It's actually a good size, really, Sue.
It's not a bad living space, is it?
I think we'll have to fill that in, though.
Yeah, I'm not that keen on the hole in the wall. I can imagine you and I shouting at each other through there.
No.
I think we probably have to either fill it in or open it all up completely and give more of a walkway through on that.
Exactly.
Apart from that, not a bad space.
Oh, I'm really impressed with the first house. It's got everything we need, really. And it suits us. There are some changes that we'll have to make for accessibility, but not that many.
How do you get on?
Very good. It's actually a bit bigger than we thought, so...
Yes, it's got everything we need.
Excellent. OK, all done here. Next property. Time to get back in the saddle and head to the second property of the day, and we're crossing the border into Norfolk, even closer to Mick's family. We're heading for the rural village of Starston, which is just a few minutes' drive from nearby amenities in Harleston. The market town of Harleston is a lively place with a variety of independent shops, and the kaleidoscope of pastel-coloured buildings are intriguing even in the lashing rain. And while the weather may have taken a dive, let's hope we're on the up with our next house, which is located down a quiet country lane. OK then, for the second property, you buy one, you get one free.
We did wonder.
Yeah. Now that is no ordinary annex, but we'll discuss that later. What do you think of the property here?
Looks good.
It's a nice little
looking
country
house,
house.
isn't
It looks perfect. Perfectly good from the outside.
At the end of a sweeping drive, this Grade 2 listed home has already sparked a flicker of interest with Mick. But can they work with the period features on the inside? Now then, first impressions as you come into your potential new house.
It's more, there looks like more bitty little bits to it.
What do you think?
I think it's lovely. I really do love it. And it's the sort of place, if I still had legs, this would have been perfect. I'm not sure about the
Accessibility.
accessibility.
Well, yes, and that is, you know, believe it or not, that is the forefront of my mind as well. There are a few steps here, but I want us to have a look around because I'm wondering whether or not we could make this practical for you guys in the future. Stick with me on this one because I think it gets better as we go around. OK? Right then. Again, very traditional.
Yeah, it's not a bad size though, isn't it?
No, it's actually very nice.
Yeah.
Again, it's beautiful.
This part of the building is 450 years old.
Yeah, yeah, I can
And you
believe
see it, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can believe it.
It's got loads of character. hasn't it?
Yeah,
It
loads of
really
character.
has,
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, the beams in here are great. They're really good.
This is the first time I've really seen you smile when you're looking around a house.
Oh well, yeah. I'm still got my doubts about practicality.
The narrow doorways, the steps,
Yeah.
and so on.
Well, look, there are other options because there is another side to this property, quite literally, that should help you out a bit. Follow me.
Let's see.
Oh wow.
Wow, there's a bit of space in there, isn't
That's
there?
a bit different. Yeah.
Now, look, here's the thing. All one level, big open plan kitchen,
yeah.
right? Into a big dining room,
Yeah.
going through to the rear hallway stroke reception room, and the owners of this house have disabled friends, and they can bring the car right to the back door.
Right. Yeah.
This, I think, is the door you'd use regularly.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's your back access.
Pull the car straight up to that door,
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about now. That's easy.
and then come with me through to the dedicated living room.
Well, that's quite a good size as well.
This is really nice. I love all the windows.
Yeah.
Windows everywhere. Brilliant.
Well, on all sides, really, aren't they?
And look at the outlook, it's just rural all the way around. isn't
Yeah.
it?
It's a lovely country cottage. Well, it's a cottage, but it's quite a big cottage.
Yeah. So far,
Very good.
Good. Yeah,
Very
excellent.
good.
Mick is clearly taken, and I think Sue is jumping on board too. And it's no surprise, as this place could give our buyers the best of both worlds. As well as an entrance hall to the front of the building, the rear hallway provides an alternative wheelchair-friendly access into the largest rooms, which collectively have an open-plan feel that's hard to find in most cottages. A staircase in the back hallway also leads upstairs to a small family bathroom and 4 guest bedrooms, all beautifully finished with a real rustic charm. However, the low exposed beams and narrow passageways may be a little too cosy for Mick, so we've got another option to run by them, back down on the ground floor. As it stands, obviously not yet a bedroom.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Again, it's full of surprises,
Isn't
this
it?
house.
Open doors,
It
something
really
else
is.
there, yeah.
Through there,
sure, yeah.
an office,
Yeah.
which I was thinking dressing room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
And
bathroom.
you've already got a bathroom, okay, needs new fittings, but
New
the
bath.
plumbing is here.
Yeah. No, this is...
Yeah, no, it's big enough.
It's big enough. It's big enough. I mean, we'd only need the bedroom, the bed in here.
Everything
Bedside
else,
tables,
furniture
everything
in
in
there.
there.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be much else to do with it. No, this could be done.
That's completed the tour of the main house, but it's not the end of the living accommodation. Right next door, the outbuilding we saw earlier has been converted into a fantastic self-contained one-bedroom annex. A great place for Mick's daughter and grandchildren to stay when they come to visit. But, of course, it's not ideal for the horses, so let's see what's in store for them. 1 paddock, 2 paddock, 3 paddock. All in all, land-wise, you get 6 acres.
Yeah,
Okay, that's not bad.
that's
yeah.
not bad. Not bad at all.
What you don't get is stabling. That you would
Yeah.
have to build yourself. The outbuildings they had, they converted
course.
into that annex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the ability to earn some extra income for
Yeah.
maybe
Holiday
self-catering
let
holiday
or something
apartment.
like that,
It's a
yeah.
beautiful part of the world.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many positives to this place. So I really do like it.
Consider.
So, try pricing it.
Well, I think you're pushing our budget. You've got that annex there adding to it and quite a lot of land as well. So I hope it's not as much, but 610.
Okay, 610 Sue. What about you, Mick?
I would say about 580, 90.
Good guess, mate. £585,000 is the asking price for this.
That's quite
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
yeah.
I thought you were going to be pushing it, so you are pushing it, but maybe
are
not
pushing
quite
it.
as much.
No, lots to think about. Why don't you guys go back into the house, into the dry, into the warm, but also have a look around the property and think what changes you would definitely want to make. See if it is a practical option or not.
We're getting there.
See you in a bit. All right. At £585,000, our second house is a fantastic 4-bedroom period property that offers our buyers a lot of flexibility, managing to combine old world charm with large and spacious rooms. There's already the potential to create a downstairs bedroom suite, as well as a separate annex which could generate some extra income. And the whole proposition is wrapped up in 6 acres of grounds. But will they like it enough to do the extra work needed for their horses?
do like having a sun lounge effect in here. I don't know how warm it will get in summer, mind you.
It may get very hot, but they've got
Nice
curtains up there, so that probably
nice,
stops
isn't
that. But it's a lovely dining room.
Yeah.
It really is.
You could spend quite a lot of time sitting entertaining there, I think.
You would. Yeah. And you can see everything from here.
Nice in the
It's really
garden.
nice. The second property is absolutely lovely. It's really, it's past my expectations, really. There's obviously difficulties with it too, but I think we'd be willing to take on this amount of work if we could afford it.
It has more potential in some aspects, but of course it's at the top end of our budget. We don't have the equestrian facilities already here, but we do have a potential income from something else. So it doesn't tick everything, but it does do different things as well.
Using the back door?
Yeah.
No, you would. Now then, had a good look around inside?
Yeah, it's very nice, really nice.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite spacious.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for today. Let's get back to the hotel.
OK.
As the sun begins to set across the Suffolk countryside, Mick and Sue take time out to reflect on their property search so far. With a budget of £575,000, Mick and Sue from Harlow are looking to break free from suburbia to settle in an equestrian property in Suffolk. So far, we've shown them 2 fantastic homes, but they've kept a rather reserved and level head. You're not high-fivers?
The cogs are all working.
Good. Still to come, we've got the Mystery House. But would it be a battle of head versus heart in an unexpected final showdown?
It really is nice.
Cottagey.
It's cottagey.
Then I'll be going the whole hog down on the farm. Well, yesterday, Mick and Sue saw 2 quite different propositions. The first place, fantastic equine facilities and a practical house. Whilst in the afternoon, a wonderful house with bags of character, but maybe work to be done with the land. Having said that, whilst they're different, I think both may well be contenders. So today, with that in mind, we're off to see the Mystery House. And as ever, it's here to challenge the expectations of our buyers. And this one's no different. Some people in your position almost get a bit nervous. There's always a bit of a trepidation when we're on our way to the Mystery House. What would you hope it isn't going to be?
Over budget.
Yeah, I bet.
Or a house which is absolutely wonderful but doesn't have any land. So maybe that's the other thing, if it doesn't have any land associated, or maybe that's where the compromise is.
Shall I turn the car around?
Take us home.
Now, Mick absolutely loved the historic character of our second house, so let's see just how far we can push that feature and hope they'll keep an open mind. Our final property is in Framsden, which is just a few miles from the village of Earl Soham. Earl Soham's well-preserved traditional buildings have earned it conservation status. Facilities include a family-run butcher and a brewery that puts Suffolk's barley harvest to good use. And on the outskirts of the village lies our very big gamble, the Mystery House. OK then, the Mystery House. Here she is.
First impression, it's a thatched cottage.
Yeah.
I didn't really want a thatched cottage.
Didn't you?
Not really. But
What do you think of the appearance of it all,
It's
Mick?
lovely. It is a beautiful little cottage.
It looks nice. It's like your chocolate box sort of look.
I wondered how long it would take to get chocolate box out, because that's exactly what it is.
That's what it is, yeah.
Let's take a look inside. Well, we've had better starts, but dwelling on the positives, this 18th century thatched house originally started life as 2 farm workers' cottages and would, for some, totally epitomise the country dream. Perhaps the inside will convince Mick and Sue. OK, in we come. Now, tell me your first impressions, and then I'll explain everything.
It's lovely. It really is nice.
Cottagey.
It's cottagey,
But
yeah.
it's narrow, and it's what I think of being a cottage.
Yeah, obviously it's all about a ground floor living. Just through there, you've got a ground floor bathroom, OK?
Right.
And on the same level, I was thinking maybe we could convert this sitting room into a bedroom. Let me show you.
Okay.
So, big enough for a bedroom?
Yes.
I would say it is, yeah.
It would actually make quite a nice bedroom. It's quite a good size.
Yeah, I quite like this room.
Lovely French doors or French windows out into the,
The garden. Yeah.
It would make a nice bedroom. Yeah. It's almost a shame though, it's a nice sitting room.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've got another sitting room elsewhere. Let me show you. Right then. Now, believe it or not, this used to be 2 farm workers' cottages.
Yeah.
One this side, one that side, and that would be the dividing wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Beautiful place, isn't it?
It is.
Now, here's another challenge for you guys. This would be living and dining area.
That really, really is small. We wouldn't get any of our furniture in whatsoever.
Yeah, no, this virtually nothing.
It's
would
certainly
fit.
smaller than I'd have in mind. Yeah.
Right.
But you've got to really, really appreciate it. It is lovely.
Let's take a look into the kitchen. Mind your heads. The rustic charm of this place continues in the kitchen.
It's a rustic kitchen and it's small.
Yeah, it is small,
It's
isn't
small. Yeah. I mean, it all goes with the theme, doesn't it?
It's lovely again.
Beautiful, but...
The more I see of it, I think less and less.
get
I would
through
never
that,
get a
yeah.
wheelchair through
No.
there.
It's not really working for you that much.
It's
Is it?
not somewhere that we would think, I think even having a thought about whether it would work for us. There's just so much, every single room has got something in it.
Too many compromises.
Too many things in there as well.
And to be truthful, I'd
wouldn't
hate
want
to
to.
actually pull this place apart.
Yeah.
Although the exposed timbers throughout the Mystery House create an authentic, cosy cottage feel, all is not what it seems, as some of the beams in this second reception room and in the hallway are purely decorative, so could easily be removed for better access. Upstairs, the country cottage theme continues to impress in the form of 3 immaculately presented double bedrooms and a family bathroom with roll-top bath and stripped wooden floors. The present owners have devoted the past 20 years to renovating every inch of this property, and the garden is no exception. However, not forgetting that this is the Mystery House, the twist is that we don't have acres of land here for the horses. But what we do have is a fantastic garden for Sue featuring a natural pond and a Monet-inspired bridge. I love that
Yeah.
bridge there.
Except it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, no,
It goes to the tree.
it's a gardener's folly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is right.
Yeah.
Right.
To be honest, there probably isn't enough for me to get my teeth really into.
Now, whilst there's no land with this cottage, there is a livery yard nearby where you can keep, well, pretty much as many horses as you want there, but it almost seems a moot point now because the house isn't suitable.
Yeah.
Albeit maybe not for you, but it's clearly going to be
It's
for
the case
someone,
for
isn't
somebody,
it?
Yeah,
definitely.
somebody,
Yeah.
So, from what you've seen, have a guess to how much this place is on the market for.
Well, without any land at all,
Tall.
I think 450.
For 425.
It's on the market for 375.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, before we decide or find out exactly what you guys want to do next, maybe about the first 2 properties, why don't you just go back and enjoy this house, have a quick look around, and then I'll meet you at the front whenever you're ready.
Okay.
See you in a bit. Well, it didn't work. It's certainly been a real treat looking around this gorgeous property. But as I said, sometimes a mystery property works, sometimes it doesn't. It didn't. At £375,000, the Mystery House is a stunning 300-year-old 3-bedroom thatched cottage that leaves Mick and Sue with a huge sum of money to make the alterations they need. It has a ground floor family bathroom and 2 reception rooms, one of which could be converted into a bedroom. There's also a 1/4 of an acre of pretty cottage garden. And despite the fact there are no on-site equestrian facilities, the property is just a few miles from a local livery yard.
First reactions inside, it's a beautiful house. The workmanship here is fantastic. It's got some lovely, lovely features. The outside's nice, it's cottagey, it's a nice little garden, but a bit bitty for me and probably not big enough. And I guess the overall surprise to us was that it hasn't actually got any land attached to it at the moment. So I was hoping at least there would be some land that we could explore, opportunities for the horses.
Although I would say it's a beautiful house and it's done to a perfectly good standard, a very good standard. But I don't think it's for us. It's just very difficult to get around.
Oh, it's a nice bright room.
It's great, isn't it? It really is nice.
I like those windows.
They're very good. They're extremely good. Again, everything's done brilliantly. And it's
And again,
well made.
it's good for guests, isn't it?
Yeah. And again, the stairs were awkward.
Yes. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
You better go ahead then again.
All done inside?
Yeah, all done.
Yep.
It's a very pretty house, isn't it?
It's a lovely house.
OK, well, that's all three. Let's go.
Okay.
Agriculture is big business in East Anglia, and although Suffolk's farming is predominantly arable, the abundance of grain provides food for its many pig herds. The county has a long tradition of pig farming, generating hundreds of millions of pounds every year. But is also home to the highest percentage of outdoor pig farms in the country, thanks to farmers like Jimmy Butler, who runs the largest open-air free-range pig farm in the UK. I've come to his 300-acre site just outside Halesworth in East Suffolk to learn how maintaining the welfare of his herd helps make for a successful business. So how old's this little piglet here?
This little man here is 5 days old.
Is that all?
That's all he is. He's just 5 days old.
May I?
You can indeed.
All right, mate, all right.
A pig itself is quite an incredible animal. That animal you've got in your hands is weighing about 1 kilo when it's born. 6 months later, it weighs 100 kilos. Now, that multiplies its own weight 100 times in 6 months. That's an incredible animal that does that.
Isn't it just?
Absolutely.
So what breed is this then?
He's a crossbred. He's a 4 different breeds in there. There's Landrace, there's Large White, there's Pear Train, and there's some Duroc. They're all in there for different reasons. Some are for flavour, some are for growth, some are for length, some are for general shape.
Right. And so, I mean, do you have a lot of lucky pigs helping the sows get pregnant?
We do. We have 11 boars at stud, and they provide for all of these 2,000 sows. Wow. They actually produce somewhere between 900 and 1,000 pigs each week.
What?
We produce between 900 and 1,000 pigs each week on these 2 farms.
That's a lot of pigs.
That is a lot of pigs.
Suffolk's combination of relatively low rainfall, a temperate climate and free-draining sandy soil creates ideal conditions for outdoor pig production. Newborn piglets stay with their mothers for 4 weeks and are slowly weaned on 6 different rations to get them accustomed to dry feed. Then it's on to the fattening up stage called finishing. But only 4% of the country's finished pigs will spend their entire lives outdoors in free-range conditions like this. What separates free range from intensive farming? What's the difference then?
Well, it's the welfare of the pig. The lifestyle of the pig is outside as you see it here. OK, we're looking at it through rose-coloured glasses today. It's a lovely sunny day.
Yeah.
But they are able to roam and be outside all the time. You see all these pigs, they're digging and rooting in here now. They can't do that in concrete.
So is the industry thriving at the moment?
At the moment, we're struggling in as much as feed is very expensive. Wheat has got very expensive. Straw has got very short in supply, and we take colossal amounts of straw.
Yeah.
So our expenses have gone up, and eventually the pig price will have to go up to be able to pay for what we're doing.
How much of our market do we buy from abroad?
About 40% of the UK pork eaten is coming in from abroad.
In 2013, new rules for the pig industry are intended to create a more even set of welfare standards across all of Europe, which should see more pigs enjoying the great outdoors. I mean, ethically, it sounds like a much better lifestyle for the animal. Of course it does. Any difference in the taste?
Absolutely. The flavour is better in these because it's older. You've got to remember, when they're running around in here, they're developing the muscles. What you eat is muscle.
Yeah.
And so if it takes longer and that's better developed, then you've got the flavour in there that you used to have years ago.
Oh, OK. It's farms like this one that help to keep Suffolk at the forefront of positive and pioneering pig husbandry. So clearly a popular place to keep pigs, but has Suffolk worked its charms on our house buyers? Time to catch up with Mick and Sue and find out. So, we had a look around properties around the Suffolk-Norfolk border. Is this still a place that you want to relocate to?
Oh, yes.
We're still happy with Suffolk-Norfolk borders, yes.
Even through the rain and the cold?
Yeah, if we can see places through the rain and the cold and still like the area, then that's got to say something.
Well, let's go through the properties then. The first house I think we started on the practicality bit, really, didn't we?
We loved the equestrian facilities at the first property. Couldn't have asked for better.
Some of the best I've seen, especially for the budget.
They're fantastic. Well, everything was there. The stables were there. The fields were all laid out. The land was good. Everything about that place was good from the outside. There was garden for me. And yes, you definitely did it for us there.
And even the house was practical.
Yeah.
With a few minor adjustments.
Yeah, but we could move straight into that house and not have to do anything for, well, ages. So there was no reason for us not to like it. It just didn't fire us up. But that said, you know, it's not something we've discounted because...
And the location was lovely.
The location was fantastic.
If you look at what you asked me for, the wish list, it delivered on everything.
It did
Everything.
everything. It pushed the budget, but everything delivered on.
But then I also noticed that you were saying it's perfectly all right, it's okay when you're in the house, and you spend a lot of time in the home, of course you do, and I just thought, well, is this because they've decided to be practical, or maybe are they seeing something they're just not falling in love with? And that's why I wanted to go to the second property yesterday afternoon and show you something just with a bit more character.
It was a lovely property, and the character of the place was brilliant. I loved it. It wasn't as practical as the first property for me, so there would be changes to make, and of course it was at the top of our budget again.
From a practical aspect, financially, we would have work to do there on the outside. You came up with the land, there was enough land there, that was fine, but there were no stables, there were no outbuildings, there was no storage.
Well, hopefully that second property gave you something to think about, and certainly gave you something to compare against the first, more practical option.
Completely,
in the morning.
yes.
And then today we went up to the mystery house, which didn't really seem to work for you.
No, it really didn't do anything that we wanted it to do. It was bitty. There were all sorts of angles and steps and things. OK, things that could be modified, but it was beautifully done. It was very tastefully finished, high level of workmanship.
It was a lovely house, but completely inappropriate for us.
Sure. OK, so it didn't work. Always a gamble. But on reflection, have you got a favourite out of the first two properties that I showed to you? Because they're very different, aren't they?
From a practicality point of view, the first one was miles ahead. But from the heart, the second one was really nice.
Yeah, I think from a practical aspect, the first property is the only one that we'd probably go back and have another look at, especially when it's not pouring down with rain.
Well, whatever you decide, please let us know, won't you?
We will do.
We will do.
Great. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
It's often quite tricky when you're looking for a rural property that gives you the right size and style of house, but also adequate land and facilities for horses. But I think Mick and Sue are doing the right thing by opting for the practical property, one that suits them now and hopefully in the future. And maybe with the second viewing, on hopefully a nicer day, they can really fall in love with the place. Only time will tell. But I'm sure, like me, you wish them both the very best of luck. See you next time. And I'm delighted to report that after a second viewing of Property 1, Mick and Sue made an offer £100,000 below the asking price, and it was accepted. A winning result. If you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/beonashow.